Now, one of the things that I talk about a lot on this channel is just self-love. And self-love, well, that's kind of like the secret sauce to just living your best life. And when we truly love ourselves, we become unstoppable, and no narcissist can take that away from us. We set standards on how we want to be treated and don't settle for less. It's like having a force field of self-respect around us. Because here's the thing, when you don't have love for yourself, we end up attaching to all the wrong people. And like these little sneaky manipulators, the narcissists, they are desperately trying to take us out, to bring us down, and to lower us to their level. But when we prioritize self-love, we set a clear message to the universe that we deserve nothing but respect. Now I'm going to talk about the power of self-talk and how it shapes our lives. And the reason I want to talk about that is because when we talk to ourselves in just a positive, self-loving, uplifting way, we actually become unstoppable. It's like having our own personal cheerleader inside our heads, pushing us towards greatness and happiness. And it doesn't matter where we are in our life. The narcissists, they're actually the opposite of that. They want to keep us down. And what we want to do is learn to just shut down our own ears when a narcissist is attacking our self-esteem. Instead, what we end up doing is listening to our own self-positive talk. The self-talk that tells us that, those narcissists, they're phony people. They're not real. And what are they? They're like these little angry little child bullies. And sure, they have an adult body, but their brain still hasn't developed any much further than a child. And if a narcissist keeps pushing your boundaries, well, they just don't get to do that anymore. So many narcissism survivors out there is just saying like, Miles, how do I set boundaries? How do I make them stick? Well, here's my response to that. Setting a boundary is just like creating a fence around your heart and one around your mind. And what we want to do is end up showing those narcissistic people in our lives how we deserve to be treated. And in defending boundaries, what we're actually doing is standing up for ourselves. And boundaries, they're like that little secret sauce that you use to attract, healthy relationships and help keep healthy relationships strong. And it doesn't even matter how long you've known that person. You could have known them for years. Boundaries will help you improve every relationship. It's never too late to start laying down those boundaries, especially for a narcissist. Yes, they won't like them, not one bit. Which tells you something, that it's working. Because the truth is, they're not supposed to like it. So who cares? So maybe they throw down a temper tantrum or 37 in a row until it finally sinks in for them. But at the 38th time, they'll see what you mean. They'll see that you mean business. Now, throughout my feed and throughout my channel, we always dive deep into the world of self-development. And this video is no different because the importance of improving yourself is incredibly important in narcissism recovery. Because it's all about taking care of ourselves, showing ourselves some self-love, and making those changes that will help level up our lives. And here's the secret. Narcissists, they don't actually want us to love ourselves. They want to be the only supply of love from anyone in the world, which is why they isolate, which is why they alienate. They want you to be dependent on one person for love and affection. But you're a person, which means you can give yourself love and affection. And the second we learn to apply self-love to ourselves, they lose their power. They lose their control over us. And it's not like we were born with like a boundary setting manual that we grew up with. Nobody taught us this stuff. So we end up developing these codependent coping strategies. We become people pleasers, always afraid to say no and avoid any kind of confrontation. And in fact, many of us have had narcissistic parents. And for a narcissistic parent to teach their child boundaries, well, that would take their power away. And I hope you understand that in some small way that those new coping strategies that we created to survive our childhoods have made us into people pleasers to make our parents happy. And then as we grow up, as we get older, we become people pleasers to everyone, trying to make everyone happy. Everyone except for us. And we end up being the only ones that are unhappy here. I hope you like this clip from my boundary video. The link to the full video is in the descriptions.